3 different kinds. Beef tenderloin with parsnip puree and carrots, and then Donnell's Bakery served 3 kinds of cheesecake and carrot cake. And then we kicked it up and danced.
Wow.
We had Ciro's there serving cocktails for folks who wanted them. Of course, soda and water were included in the dinner. And it was just a really nice time. And the weather was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It was absolutely perfect.
You weren't constantly under the sun, but
Nope,
you were
setting up.
sometimes.
Yes, I did get burned in the afternoon. So,
Well, again, I was
some-
talking about the crowd.
Yeah, the crowd did not, and it was great. If I could just shout out to our
Sure.
sponsors, Navigant was one of our main sponsors, as was Apex Technology and the Preservation Framer, and then of course the City Woonsocket. From the detail to the DPW to the fire department, everyone was just really great. Everyone worked together, and it was
Good.
a lovely evening.
I'm glad it was a good time.
Yep, yep.
And Dave, earlier in the day, you were at the food
St.
food
John the
festival.
Baptist Romanian Orthodox
Yeah.
Food Festival.
Yeah.
I think I got it all in there. Yeah, it's a long name.
The first one in 4 years.
That's right,
Mhm.
at the corner of Elbow Street and East School Street. Boy, it worked out really well. Nice crowd over there. Some pretty yummy stuff. I had lunch and dinner there because there was enough in my box. I took a carry-out box to get back to the station and get my work done. But yeah, there was enough in the box to have supper too. So, all right. Neat stuff.
You had the chicken kebabs.
I had chicken kebab, and that came with rice and a coleslaw and tomato. How often do you go someplace and they give you a piece, a seasoned tomato?
Not a slice.
Not-
They gave
well,
you
it was
the
a
whole
slice of
round-
tomato.
Oh, okay.
No, it was a slice of tomato, rather large slice of tomato. And then I had 2 pieces of mitite, which is like a sausage without a casing.
Okay.
And I believe they've got lamb, pork, and several meats.
Poultry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
They got no. I don't think they put chicken in
Hamburg.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, could be beef in there too.
Then what was the
Um,
tomato seasoned with? You said it was seasoned.
Some delicate, beautiful tasting thing. I have no idea.
No?
It's just
Okay.
there was. Sometimes you eat tomatoes and they have an acidic taste to them. This was smooth and mellow and very flavorful, and your mouth watered as soon as you went in. It was really nice. I don't know how they made it. I
Wow.
didn't get a chance to ask.
Okay. Well, good job, guys, getting out there to these
Sure.
places on Saturday. So, and I'm so glad the weather held out.
Oh,
for,
yeah.
For everything. That's
Yep,
fantastic.
and there were just enough clouds to have a beautiful sunset,
Yeah.
which was bonus.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, from the top of that bridge, can you hear the Blackstone rushing below you, or is it just too far away, or just too much noise going on?
No, you can't hear it over the band or anything. And even when we're probably about 100 feet above. I think it's like 90 something. So, I mean, you can listen if you go to the side, but when you're on the bridge, in the middle of the bridge, you
Yeah.
really can't hear it. But it does make for some lovely pictures. If
Yeah.
you just hop over the rail and go
But
to the
you
side.
you can't hear the
Yeah.
sunset when it actually hits. It goes.
Does it?
Yeah, it's like magic.
So, definite plans to do it again next year?
Yes, we're already discussing next year. We're going to have a debriefing meeting, and there's little glitches that things we can do better. I will say that I have already told the crew that after 5 years, I'm going to step back, but I will be in a supportive role because I would really like to, for next year's dinner, actually get dressed up and not be sweaty, and maybe put on some mascara and sit down and eat with my guests, because every year I do buy a table, but I never get to eat with
You're
my
never there
guests.
with
It's
them.
always something
Stuff
that
to
I'm
do.
making sure that everything is going right. So I'm sure whomever takes it over, it might be 2 co-chairs, they can put their own mark on it
There's
and
a
make
job
it
for you,
theirs.
Joe.
And
You are a maitre d in another life.
yeah, that's
Made
true.
of
That's
vanilla.
true. You can put a whole different tropical flair on it.
You want people to show up, don't you?
But yeah, I am confident that the board members of DWC, which I'm no longer a board member either, I'm a ex officio, because I stepped back in that role too. But it's time for somebody to put their own mark on it, and
Okay.
I've loved doing it, and I'll be there to help them out.
All right, very good. Going on in the state of Rhode Island, and for the congressional seat, Don Carlson has dropped out. Now, that's his decision. He's got a little
He's
things
suspended
going on.
his campaign.
Yes,
you
which
really
means he
can't
dropped out.
drop out.
Well,
You're
yeah.
still going to
he
be
can't.
able to vote
Now
for
this
him.
this comes
Right.
down to early voting has already started.
That's
oh, gosh,
right.
yeah.
So this really is an argument against early voting for all the people that early voted and voted
Why
for
I
him.
don't. That's why I don't do it.
You can't take back your
You
vote
can't
now.
take back your vote. That's
No.
right.
And it's not going to switch over to Sandra Cano, who he endorsed.
Right.
Um,
So
so should
I'm
you
sorry.
have
And
early
who showed up at
voting?
Twilight on the Blackstone, according to the newspaper this morning.
she did. Yeah, she attended.
okay.
She attended in years past as my guest too. So it wasn't in her.
So it just
that capacity,
the
yeah.
question goes out: should we allow early voting, or is it too much early voting? Are we allowing? Should it only be like a week?
So I'm
I
gonna.
think it should be just be a personal choice, don't
Yeah,
you?
yeah. I think people do enjoy taking advantage of early voting.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that I know have already early voted. I'd be super disappointed if I had early voted for Don Carlson. I think that
Yeah.
probably this could happen in any race, though. I mean, I've actually run against somebody who suspended their campaign after they were already on the ballot, and people, didn't know and still voted for that person.
That'll happen.
That happens anyway.
Yeah.
But I think this is a strong argument for ranked choice voting with this many people in a primary. I'm not saying in a
I'm
general
sorry,
election.
what was that? What voting?
What's ranked choice?
Ranked choice voting.
What is that?
oh,
so-
so somebody else decides who you can vote for.
No. So what you do, say you get to pick your top three, right? 1, 2, and 3.
You get to vote for 3.
right.
Okay.
And so whomever, so you get your 1, you get your 2, you get your 3. Whomever gets the most votes. And in this particular case, I think it is a good argument for it. And I'm only in favor of this in a primary, by the way, when there's so many, Democrats or so many Republicans in the same race.
Democrats, you were right the first time.
Yes, we love
Rhode
to do this to
Island,
ourselves.
anyway.
All everywhere. We love to do this to ourselves. Democrats do. Like, let's just throw everybody in the race, instead of just getting behind one person we think we can push for. But that's my own personal opinion. So in ranked choice voting, it would end up being like the most popular person who you would say, okay, well, I didn't get my first choice, but at least I also like this person. And you would
So
get
the
a
general
more
election, you vote again.
right,
All right.
exactly. You'd get someone who at least a majority of people, more than 15 or 20% or whatever it's going to be, because it's going to be small.
You don't like this idea, Dave?
Oh, no, it's an awful idea.
Wow. What do you? Don't sugarcoat it, Dave.
No, I think it's terrible because for many years there was talk about the fact that because we got to tell another grandpa story again, because the primary vote elections are the functions of political parties administered by the state through the municipalities, but a general election is everybody's election, and every now and again, you get these people that get up and say, well, you shouldn't be able to vote in a primary if you ain't a member of the party because it's a party vote. Okay, fine. I get it. I disagree, but okay, because like myself, I'm an unaffiliated voter, very proud to be an unaffiliated voter. Most of the voters in the state of Rhode Island are unaffiliated. I have no idea how you party people get by. But anyway, we have to choose a party to vote in their primary.
And then you have to make sure you unaffiliate.
And if
After that,
if you want to
It's
remain
extra
unaffiliated,
step.
but we
Yeah.
have to join the party in order to vote, and that's tedious. But I get it, and it's okay. And so, if I wanted to vote for a Republican candidate here, I wouldn't be able to vote for any of the doggone Democrats because I would only have the names of the Republicans on my ballot.
Right.
Okay, well, this is how it works, and it's probably as it should be. But every now and then somebody says, you should be able to do. Why? Because you could be voting for the weakest thing of the other party just to set up the other party for having a problem in the general election. And blah, 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 blah. You could be using negative voting techniques in order to game the election. And I said, okay, fine. Like one person's going to be able to do this, like 20 people are going to be able to do this. Likelihood is very, very small. Now, if we adopt what Melissa is putting forth over here, where you vote for 3 people, now you have 3 votes in every election, in every primary. Okay, you have 3 votes. So maybe you could game things by choosing the weakest of the opposing party in order to set your candidate up for an easier run in the general election, because now you've tripled the effectiveness of your vote. How say you?
Well, I know this is different and that it is nonpartisan, but here in Woonsocket for city council, we do ranked choice voting in the primary.
You vote for 5 of...
We vote for 7 of however
7
many
of
there
whatever.
are.
Okay.
And we do it in the general election as well. And again, I know that it's nonpartisan, but you know, the person who comes in 7th can be the president of the city council. So
Used to be the person who came in 8th was like standing by, and if somebody didn't finish
Yeah.
their term, they would
Step right in.
automatically get in there.
It also
but when
used
the
to
wrong
be-
person did that back in the 90s, they changed the rule.
right, and it also
I mean,
used
when
to
I
be
say
that
wrong, it's like
yeah,
in quotation marks, the
Yeah.
wrong person.
Right, and there also used to be a gentleman's agreement that the top vote getter would be the city council president.
Yeah.
Until
Many times, yeah.
they didn't like the top vote getter.
We do have to take a break, but a question for Dave. Aren't you tired of the top vote getter only getting 30 or 29% of the vote, and they're the winner?
That
Could be less.
And it could be less.
That is that's the downside of voting in a free republic through democratic election process. It happens everywhere. It's worse in other countries where there are 20 parties, where somebody could get single digits of the vote and end up
And still win.
running the place. Where we are, I believe, in this country, imperfect. We admit it, but we're the best thing going.
All right. We're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program, so please stick around. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
When you visit the Menard Locature Funeral Home's website, you'll find a wealth of important information, including frequently asked questions about the various options of pre-planning funeral etiquette, visitation, personal help to help the family, and many others. Remember, pre-planning is safe and helpful to family members who may be overwhelmed with details and responsibilities. It also assures that the deceased's final wishes are met. Their website will also feature several photos of their 2 beautiful and classic funeral homes at 127 Carrington Avenue, Woonsocket, and 71 Central Street, Manville. You'll be treated with courtesy and understanding. Their main phone number is 762-1825. Menard Locature Funeral Homes.
Hi, this is Noel Pinsence. Myself and Reverend Ryan Simus will present a fabulous show by Father Pat from La Salette Shrine. It will take place on Sunday, September 10th, and that is Grandparents' Day at 3:30. The doors will open at 3 p.m. at St. Joseph Church, Mendon Road in Woonsocket. Father Pat will present inspiring music. This event is sponsored by the Pepin family. Pre-sale tickets on sale now, $10 at Pepin Lumbers on Cumberland Hill Road. The day of the concert, $12. Cash only, no checks or credit cards. The address for Pepin Lumber, 830 Cumberland Hill Road. And we're going to help New Beginning Soup Kitchen and the St. Joseph Cupboard. Hope to see you there.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England. ON Radio. It is Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Murray and Dave Richards.
Hi
and
there.
hello. So they had a little fracas at the ACI the maximum security. Every once in a while,
Yeah, they had a fight.
these things happen. Fights break out
Out
with
in
the
the yard.
inmates out in the yard.
They went
That's
in,
right.
okay, break it up, everybody back to yourselves. I don't
wanna
want to go back to my cell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, somebody pushed the red button on the wall.
Yep. So they called
In
in
come
outside
the National
forces.
Guard, the state police, the dog catcher, and a couple of cops from the Cranston Police Department.
Now they haven't said yet what started the fight. Has they still investigating that, or has anybody
Whatever
heard
starts a
something?
fight.
Right. I
When
mean, it
I
could
don't
have
like
been.
you.
When you cage a bunch of
You
guys
looked at me
who
in the
have
wrong
bad
way,
attitudes,
Yeah.
or you know, whatever it was. Right.
you cage a bunch of guys with bad attitudes, you know,
I
there's
know.
going to be disagreements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's going to be disagreements if you just have 20 people sitting on park benches.
Yeah.
But
True.
when you
True.
put them in that kind of a setting, sometimes they
Yeah.
act out after a while.
Right. Confined, frustrated, angry.
Or it could be trying to get higher up on the pecking order. I'm just going to watch me start a fight with that guy. I
Could
don't
be
even, I
anything.
don't even know him. I don't even.
Could be
I
anything.
Yeah.
think they were just ticked off they couldn't go to the Twilight on the Blackstone.
Maybe
Day.
that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Either
no,
that or some of them had already early voted for Reagan.
Reagan. No. That
Whatever.
was Carlson.
Carlson?
Carlson.
All right, good.
Reaganburg had Bernie Sanders come down.
Yeah.
Did you hear any numbers that showed up for that event?
I
Melissa?
wasn't paying attention to that event. I knew it was happening.
Yeah.
All the Bernie Bros were down there.
Feel the
so-
burn, right?
No, I'm not sure. I'm
No?
not sure.
I just I'd be interested to know how many people showed up for the event, but none of the media, none of the TV stations said how many. Well, no one counted.
Well, you got a
Right.
problem. You're running a TV station, and you've got Sabina pouring all these dollars into your broadcast coffers, and her opponent is doing this thing. How aggressively do you want to cover that on a weekend when you have to call somebody in to do it? I mean, there's a practical side to all of the decisions on what gets on the TV news. I can tell you,
I
'cause
know,
I've been
but,
there.
But Bernie's still a name, and he's still he's got that celebrity status, and here he is in the state,
But he's also a has-been who says he's not going to run again.
but he's still a name.
A
though,
lot of
right?
people say that.
He's also
Yeah.
he's also you get in trouble covering Bernie Sanders no matter what party is in charge in your state because he's
That's
an
true.
independent and no independent candidate is in charge of a state.
I thought
So-
I thought he was a Democrat.
Well, he used to be.
He changed.
Now he got too liberal for the Democrats,
They threw him out.
and so he decided that he was going to be independent.
Oh well, all right. I wasn't aware of that. He's still a senator in
Yes.
Vermont, right? Okay.
Yeah. See,
All I
it's
can picture is that
kinda
picture
like,
of him with his mittens.
And his mittens on. Yeah.
kind of like John Brian, who got too conservative for the Democrats and became an independent. It just, if the party's not resonating with you anymore, then
Yeah.
you find another path.
Okay.
It's just plain logic.
I know there was somebody, I don't know who, because I haven't looked into it, but that rented a billboard bus. And there was a picture of Bernie Sanders that said, Bernie Sanders once again not endorsing a woman of color. And then
okay.
it was driving around
Providence?
Providence the day of
What a racist thing to
the
say.
rally.
What a racist
And-
thing to say.
It was a thing. It was a thing. But I mean, I think honestly, not a lot of people are paying attention to Bernie right now.
I feel
I guess.
bad.
Well, I guess not. I mean,
I'm not in Rhode Island
Well,
anyway.
No.
Bernie's made himself complicated.
yeah.
He's not an easy choice for a good story. He's made himself complicated. Would you agree?
I would agree with that statement.
Right. So there you go. But he's still Bernie. He still
That's
draws
right.
he draws a crowd.
He draws the name, and
When he doesn't draw a crowd anymore, nobody's going to ask him anymore.
right. We don't need your endorsement anymore. All right. There's a couple
I
of.
don't particularly think that. I mean, I just got to say, Bernie Sanders endorsing any of them would not have endeared that one to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't a Bernie fan to begin with.
Yeah.
Because I looked at him, I says, okay, he's a fringe candidate. He believes in what he's doing. He should be there. He should have a voice. He should run if he wants to. But it's not my cup of tea.
A lot of folks in Rhode Island, even in city council races in Rhode Island, get endorsed by Bernie Sanders. So you have to wonder, does he actually know
Does he
this
get paid
person?
for that?
No,
is this
it's
his
just
retirement plan?
No,
I'll go
I'm
on.
Yeah.
sure he
You know,
doesn't.
give me $100,000 and I'll endorse it.
No. I'm sure it doesn't. I hope he doesn't.
You
But
should pay more attention to what's going on in Vermont.
Right.
Deal with
What's the percentage in that?
Well, I don't know.
He's locked in.
Well, down here in Rhode Island, we got a couple of animal stories, and the Rhode Island Department of Health is saying beware of the bats.
Oh no.
Some 200 people have recently been treated for rabies. And, you know,
oh, it's a sorry.
No, not that bat. But I'm thinking, you know, how do you come in unless the bat flies right at you?
Yeah.
They're up in the air.
Right.
How are you coming in contact with the bats?
A rabid animal
Yeah.
acts rabid,
Unpredictable.
unpredictable, and it's like when you see these animals out in the day that shouldn't be out in the day, like
raccoons.
yeah, like raccoons
Or
or
skunks,
skunks
yeah.
or
Okay.
coyote. Not well, coyotes kind of come out at dusk, but
The
a fox.
The Department of Health says it's an unprecedented bat season. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if that's because of the rain that we had.
a lot of rain, a lot of
No,
mosquitoes.
because the only way you get
mosquitoes.
anybody to listen to you is by saying something
It's
is unprecedented,
unprecedented.
historical,
All
radical, racist, or anything else like that. It's the only way you get anybody to listen to you.
Well, the CDC.
In my unscientific opinion,
Yeah.
because it rains so much, I would say like I've gotten bitten by mosquitoes and I'm highly allergic.
Exactly.
There's so many mosquitoes,
Oh yeah.
and bats eat mosquitoes, which is why bats are lovely. But now
I like bats.
I
They're
like bats too.
useful.
They're like
I
they
wouldn't
look
say
like
lovely. I say useful.
I mean they look like little puppies with wings. They kind of look like
Oh,
flying.
gosh.
You know I love all animals.
I wouldn't say
They
that.
look like flying chihuahuas. Like if you look at their face, they kind of look like flying chihuahuas. But
It depends on kind of the bat you're looking at, I guess.
I guess so. But typically they don't bite humans, and there's
No.
something wrong with this.
No, they
And
usually
it's
stay
very
away from you.
sad. It's very sad because I do
So,
love bats.
and the
They are
CD
useful and
CDC
cute.
says bats are the most commonly reported rabid animals nationwide.
Oh,
Oh well. So
Right.
just if you're out at dusk and you look up, oh look at all the birds flying around. They're probably not birds.
Oh,
those
yeah,
are
I
probably the
noticed that.
bats.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah.
just-
We've
just-
always had bats
just
that
say,
are.
okay. There they are.
The house I grew up in has always had
And-
bats.
And I've told this story before, back when I first got married. We had a bat that got into our apartment, and I'm pretty sure he came in on the back of my jacket.
Yeah.
There was absolutely no other way he could have gotten in.
That is wild.
Yeah, and I didn't know he was on the back of my jacket, and until I heard flapping in the middle of the night. Gee, what's that? And we ended up finding him because for whatever reason, in the kitchen sink, we were soaking a pan, and it actually drowned.
Oh no.
So then we have our bat in the kitchen in the pan of water.
I hope you threw it out with the dishwater.
Yeah, I said, Gail, get the door.
Yeah.
Tossed it out. Let's wash this pot again. Let's wash this pan again.
Oh, yeah, right.
So yeah,
Sure.
that's
Wash it
where
real
was.
good this
Real-
time.
We're gonna use the hot water this time.
Right. I had a bat in my house as well, and found him. Like we were like, where is the? I was on the city council at the time. It was budget night. I came home very late. It was like 1:00 in the morning, and my partner I flipped on the bathroom light, although everyone was sleeping, and this thing flew at me and then flew out. And I said, "Oh my gosh, I think there's a bat in the house." So I woke up my partner. I said, "I think there's a bat in the house." And they're like, "Well, oh no, it was probably just a really big moth." And I'm like, "This was not a big moth."
No.
All right. And the next morning,
swamp
I'm
gas. Weather balloon.
recounting this this story. Oh no, you were probably just tired. And meanwhile, one of my dogs was like pacing back and forth and growling all night. Right.
Ah.
So I said, I swear it must be a bat. And as I said that, I pulled up the shade, and in between, we had the windows open, and in between the window and the screen, there was a little bat stuck on it. And I was like, oh, hey, guess what? It was a bat.
All right then.
And we let her go, and it was fine.
The other
You
animal
didn't drown her
story.
like
I didn't
that,
drown.
dog
I
did,
didn't get bit.
all right.
Dog didn't get rabies. Everything was okay, fortunately.
The other animal story is a dead shark washed ashore
Oh.
down in Westerly. They don't say how the shark died.
What kind of shark was it?
They didn't bother to ask.
It was right. They didn't ask the shark. Well, it was dead. It was a 5 to 6 foot long sand tiger shark.
Okay.
So not
Which is the most
terribly
common
big.
kind here in Rhode Island.
And
Little sand sharks.
doesn't say if it's like hit by a boat or just
Of course, that's
bit
a
by
big
another
little
animal.
sand shark,
Yeah,
5 to 6
That's a
feet.
good
They
size.
usually don't get that big when you see them.
It washed ashore at Watch Hill. Town authorities said they buried the shark and then notify the Rhode Island DEM of where the actual location is.
If you're down fishing off the rocks, you don't generally get the stripers. You get sand sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
caught one that day when I was fishing, and it was so little.
Toss it
and
back.
Toss it back.
All right. So I would have been interested to learn how it died. But anyway,
Sometimes animals die in the
sometimes
wild.
they just die.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
right. Where do you suppose they go when they die?
Ashore.
Float.
No, they float
float to the
around a little
top
bit.
and then
They
they-
float around a little bit. Some of the, like whales,
they-
whales sink because they're mammals. And
Not all the time though.
well, they could get caught in the current and
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
brought in.
sometimes they get
Yes,
beached.
anything
Yeah.
could. It could get caught in the current and beach. But generally speaking, in the regular ocean, they just fall to the bottom and decay there.
And become food.
And become food for other animals.
That's right.
The
They
circle
call
of life.
And there's a term for it. It's called whale fall.
Oh, all right. Now, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. Time for the weather forecast, which is being sponsored by Compassion International.
Increasingly cloudy skies today with a high of 78 degrees and a calm wind. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, overnight low of 60 degrees. Tuesday's weather, 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy skies with a high of 75 degrees. Between a tenth and a quarter of an inch of rain is possible, except more with thunderstorms. Wednesday's weather, 60% chance of showers and possibly a thunderstorm before noontime, and a high of 75 degrees. Otherwise, it'll be mostly cloudy skies on Wednesday. Thursday, sunshine returns, 72. Friday, sunshine and 75. Saturday, sunny and 79. And on Sunday, mostly sunny and 82.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with the clouds. Most of the fog has gone away, and we have 67 degrees. Families in poverty are facing a global food crisis. $50 provides a food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646.
Rhode Islanders need a strong and effective leader in Congress, and more importantly, someone they can trust. I'm Stephen Casey. As a 17-year first responder with the Woonsocket Fire Department, I will never forget where I came from or who I work for. In my 10 years in leadership at the State House, I've brought people together from competing interests to find compromise and common ground, which is what this country needs. I'm Stephen Casey. I'm asking for your vote now through September 5th. You've counted on me. Now I hope I can count on you.
Paid for, Casey for Congress.
I'm Stephen Casey, and I approve this message.
Lead can be poisonous, especially to children. That's why Rhode Island has a renovation, repair, and painting rule. If you're a homeowner and you're planning any work that could disturb lead paint, you must protect your family or tenants by hiring a licensed lead renovation firm to correct lead paint hazards. And if you're a skilled tradesman, you must be specially trained and licensed to work on any projects that could disturb lead paint. Learn more at health.ri.gov/RRP. A message from the Rhode Island Department of Health and Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
Get ready to nominate the best of the Blackstone Valley.
It is Coffee In on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan along with Dave Richards and Melissa Murray. We did get a note that was called in on a different subject. Social media is fueling violence and not doing enough to stop it. Social media platforms are doing too little to stop the rise in hate and violence they help fuel. Well, I don't know if it's social media's job to
Believe
stop
me,
violence.
Social media is a scapegoat. It's government that's not doing enough to take care of people, and government that is dividing people into small groups and trying to conquer them and making them unhappy.
We've seen the amount of hatred, the amount of unrest, the rise in hate crimes. We've seen the actual fruits of the labors that these people are putting in on social media. He's actually quoting from a USA Today columnist that he saw in the Providence Journal.
Social media is just showing you, it's mirroring what the government's doing.
It's made it easier I think it's made it easier for people to spew hate and vitriol. And people will say, well, they can do that as free speech. Normally, they wouldn't have had a platform to do this,
Yeah, now they do.
Or
publicly.
if they did have a platform, they would have to have a permit.
Right.
And then people would throw things at them and threaten
Rotten
them as they're
apples
on their
are
way back to
good.
the car. So these gutless people will do it on social media
Yep,
because
because
they
there's
don't
no
have to face the
repercussions.
people that
Yeah.
they're taking
There's
off.
no repercussions. It's become
So-
impersonal, and it's those people, and these people are all, this, and those people are all that. And then folks join in. And I mean, I know that personally, I have reported some comments on multiple platforms that I felt were just really more than freedom of speech. They were really hatred directed at specific targeted groups, which is supposedly not allowable. And nothing has ever happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, they might have been referring to the shooting that took place in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, awful.
Where the man killed 3
Yep.
African Americans and then killed
Yep.
himself. And they talked about how, I guess he left a
manifesto.
some writings, and he didn't like black people.
Yep. There was,
It's just
he left a manifesto of sorts
Yeah.
that was just filled with horrible musings.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. And but the problem, not the problem, but the situation is you're never going to stamp out hate 100%.
You aren't, but
Never-
I think
never.
that
It's just
social
not gonna
media
happen.
emboldens people and does give them a platform.
Did-
I
did-
don't think you can do anything about it
Yeah.
unless the government steps in and says we can't allow this, but then folks are going to go absolutely wild and say,
Were there any social media videos of this shooting in Florida?
I
that
don't
someone
know.
took?
I don't
Not that
know.
I didn't see any.
Not that I haven't heard of any, but
Dave's not a social media guy, so he wouldn't have seen any.
Is that required now to have a mass shooting that you have
Well,
to
no,
have
if
social
people
media
just
of it?
But no,
hold up
if
their
you're-
phones
that's
for
right.
everything.
If you were a customer at that particular Dollar General that was in Florida, and the shots start
I'd be
ringing
hitting
out,
the dirt. I
so-
wouldn't be
no,
whipping
Yeah,
out
me
my,
too.
my
Me too.
phone.
First person, that's because of our age. Sorry, but the younger
Yeah,
people
yeah, I agree.
are going to take out the phone first.
They
Oh,
are.
no,
and
no,
then
no.
they're going to hit the floor.
I
Yes,
think
they
you
are.
have it wrong. No,
No,
you're
no, I
totally
know, and I don't
wrong.
think
Oh, I don't think so.
The
Dave.
younger people never would have put the phone away.
Well,
it's
okay.
already
It's already
in
out.
It's
their
already in
hand.
their
It's already
hand.
out, so-
Right.
So, but they're going to film.
And they've set
whatever.
up the icons on their screen so that they can swipe with one thumb. They can press
Yeah.
the right button and activate the camera with one
Yeah,
phone.
yeah.
With one thumb, because that's the way they have, and they have it in their hand all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I don't think.
Those are the
There's
ones
any
that
video
suffer
of that.
such serious withdrawal symptoms when their phone is broken.
So there's that happened in Jacksonville. Then there's what happened in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Boston had a Caribbean festival in 7
in
or 8.
2 different cities.
We got
in
shot.
Dorchester and in Worcester, and they were shooting at both.
Shooting in both cities. At both of these Caribbean festivals. I think that there is video of the one in Boston. I haven't seen the one for the one in Worcester that took place.
So I think another thing that social media does, it enables these like-minded people who share the same hatred to connect and join together as, in a group, which isn't a good thing. Connecting with people, connecting with your. I use Facebook. I don't use it a lot, but I have cousins that are, in Washington, Seattle, and I still have friends in Arizona. I still have friends in Atlanta, and people everywhere that I connected with, and it's great for that. But it also allows people who alone may not be harmful to connect, and in large groups become a harmful group. I don't know what the answer is, but
I don't know. So
and again, I'm old, so I'm not the person that whips out my phone. But in retrospect, if I'm going to get gunned down, I would hope that I get a good shot of that person on my phone so that they could be identified and arrested.
Okay.
That's the one benefit. If you're going to take me down, I hopefully could go down as well.
There was. I don't think there were any arrests yet. No, I'm wrong about the one in Boston. There were arrests have been made. I don't know if there's been any arrests made in the one in Worcester. Okay. Well, that's just what took place over the weekend. Of course, in the Boston, I love it. The Boston city officials, they're outraged
Sure.
by the violence over the
Well,
weekend.
Thoughts and prayers. Yeah.
Thoughts and
Cut
prayers.
them
thoughts and
some
prayers.
slack. What else?
I know, what else
are
are
they
they
going to
gonna say?
Come on.
They can't come out and say, "Oh, that's the way it goes."
Sure they could, but then duck.
Yeah. According to the police commissioner of Boston, 4 people have been arrested in the case that are currently facing weapons charges. And the mayor, Michelle Wu, says she wanted the event to continue after the shooting, as there was no reason to end the celebration because of an unrelated incident. The one in Worcester was shut down immediately. Told, okay, it's over, everybody go home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, but they didn't get the perpetrator so immediately
Not
as they
yet.
did in Dorchester.
That's right. So, okay.
I mean, they knew they had the perpetrator there in Dorchester, so okay, no reason why we can't continue.
But it's different about the shooting in Boston and Worcester as opposed to the one in Florida. I mean, that guy in Florida was specifically going after another racial group. This seems to be happening within the same racial groups. Oh, good. I know the other gang, for lack of a better word, who's going to be there, so this would be a
Yeah.
perfect way to get them.
Well, it happens an awful lot in Latino communities that there's there's Latino against Latino violence.
Yeah.
It happens, and you know they've got their I don't know. There's a term I was looking for that would make me sound very intelligent, so I'll just blubber a little bit and
And not coming to
and not hide anything. No, it's about their society. There's enough. I mean, I refer you to the play and movie West Side Story.
the Jets and the Sharks.
There you go. And it's just like it's Shakespeare all over again.
Yeah.
There's this family and that family and Hatfields and McCoys, and they don't like each other. And you can't come into our neighborhood. Well, sure we can. It's a free country. Okay, you can leave Dad, and stuff like that. You know, it's so infantile, but it seems that we see it because so many Latinos and Hispanic people are still working to rid their society of that, and they have not finished their work yet.
Okay. Watch the movie The Warriors. It's kind of the same thing almost.
I mean, Hatfields and McCoys were all white guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
Italians.
This has nothing to do, right?
Yeah.
Families.
It has nothing to do with race and ethnicity, but I just said that we see it so frequently that in their culture, they've got the gang mentality going on that the rest of us are trying to get away from, and they just seem to be, we're still working on it.
Everyone should watch more or listen to more old Superman episodes and
Yeah.
read Superman comics, because Superman was always about like our difference is our strength, and our like people say our diversity is our strength. Well, Superman didn't say that in those words, but that's basically what he was saying, right? Like,
That's 21st century speak.
Yeah, that's right.
Superman was
Right.
from before.
was Superman the original woke?
Possibly, I guess. So police down in Kingston, Massachusetts, they're investigating because a man comes out, I guess, into his backyard. He sees a black bear. Now, the
Is
the
this
news
another
story says...
racial thing?
No.
Okay.
There's black
That's
bears
a
and brown
species.
bears and
It's a
grizzly
black
bears
bear.
and polar bears.
Okay.
But we have black bears in this area.
Okay.
Black bears was attacking his goat. Well, no, the black bear was looking for lunch or dinner.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah, he didn't sit around saying, I think I'm going to go attack this
Yeah,
guy's
go,
goat.
Yeah,
for
I don't
no
like this
reason.
goat.
Yeah. So the man's tried to scare the bear
Just
away
looked over and
first.
says, lunch.
Oh.
So the bear stood up. And
Right.
So, ooh, look out when they do that. Now
Yeah,
they're get
yeah.
away from me. So he shot the bear. And,
Which only ticked him
Which
off,
just
right?
made the bear mad.
Oh.
He's okay. But the bear got down on all fours and just ran away.
Yeah.
No word on the goat, by the way. So state environmental police have been able to locate the bear, which ran into the woods after he got shot. So
Go ahead. To finish the story, tell me that the guy got cited.
I don't have that information. What, for shooting?
For shooting.
For
That's where I thought it
shooting,
was
for shooting
going
at
to.
a bear, you know, that's all.
Shooting in a residential
shouldn't have an
area.
interaction with a bear.
I swear I thought it was going to.
You know, I don't have that
I
information.
could just picture the the little fiefdoms in that
But
government.
Kingston
after 'em.
Kingston's very rural
Yeah.
in that area of the state.
Yeah.
But apparently you can have
Well, I
goats.
know, but remember,
Goats are okay.
Goats are okay.
remember the baseball play we just said was the anniversary of it happening. Baseball player during batting practice hits a ball, it kills a seagull, and Canada has a law that you can't molest seagulls. And they arrested the guy, took him out of the ballpark and down to the police station.
I didn't hear this.
That's
Oh
insane.
yeah, that happened years and years ago.
That's insane.
It is insane. But this is what happens when fiefdoms run roughshod over sensible people.
So no, I didn't. I heard the story over the weekend. I did not hear that the man at Kingston got arrested for shooting, because he's
Li-
protecting
protecting
his
his
property
livestock,
and his
yeah.
livestock,
Good.
so he's going to be okay. The problem is we can't locate the bear now. We don't know if the bear's hurt, the bear has died, or what. Now
well,
you
the
don't,
bear will either.
Or is he still ticked off?
You don't want to hurt bear in your
Ri-
hands either.
right.
Who's going to be even angrier? So, all right, we're going to take another break here on the Coffee and Program. More
Take another break.
coming up on ON Radio. Calling comments and questions 766-1240.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, two locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hi, this is Joanne Borsier Hebert, calling for all classmates of Woonsocket High School class of 1978. Come help us celebrate our 45th reunion at Bella's Restaurant in Glendale, Friday, September 15th from 5 to 10. Looking forward to sharing memories of our past and creating new ones. Please call Linda Barad Senecal at 401-766-3134 for more information. We also have a Facebook page, Woonsocket High Class of 1978, to find out more information also. Hope to see you there.
Hello, I am Paul LaValle, and on September 9th at 2 p.m., the pro-life members of St. Joseph's in Woonsocket will be hosting a remembrance ceremony for the unborn. Location is Resurrection Cemetery in Cumberland on West Rentham Road. It will be held at the monument of the unknown baby Mary. We invite you and hope you can join us.
Okay, Paul, thanks. And it is Coffee In on ON Radio. Joe Callahan here, along with Melissa Murray. Dave Richards is with us as well. We mentioned earlier about Bernie Sanders and how he really should pay attention to what's going on in Vermont. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Everyone is okay after a hot air balloon made an emergency landing on a freeway median in Vermont. And if you ever follow those hot air balloons, they actually have a car or truck that travels around with them.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes. Okay. And you see it on the outside of the truck. You know, hot air balloon, not rescue, but follower or stuff like that. And I've actually been asked one time, back when I was living in Cumberland, have you seen a hot air balloon go by? They lost it.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, they found it.
And so, like a locator on it? I guess maybe it doesn't work so far up.
Maybe. Authorities say the pilot earns high marks for safely setting the balloon down on the median of Interstate 91 after the aircraft stalled mid-flight last week. Maybe they ran out of the hot air or whatever. The pilot, Chris Ritland, and his 4 passengers were in good shape after he set the balloon down as it was getting dark. And the Hartford, Vermont Fire Department said the pilot had no other options. So putting it down on the median, I guess, is a better idea than putting it down actually on the highway.
Well,
so you can direct these things. What do you mean it depends, Dave?
Well, it depends on the traffic conditions and stuff.
Well, you don't want to land it on the highway.
Serious?
Can you imagine if you're driving on the highway and you see a hot air balloon and coming up ahead? And
Right.
Those things are huge.
You know that the Dwight D. Eisenhower Highway Act that established our interstate highway system, one of its major tenets is that you take the interstate highway system, and out of 5 miles of highway road, there should be 1 mile that is straight, so that it can be used as a landing strip if needed.
But they were considering airplanes, not hot air balloons.
Well, you're right about that. They were considered, because you don't need a mile to put down a hot air balloon. But I mean, heck, if that's what's required, yeah, median's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, good
but
for the
not
pilot.
not for airplanes.
Right. Good for the pilot because they ran out of fuel.
Propane.
Yeah.
Yeah, they use
The
propane.
hot air isn't working anymore, so we got to set it. We're coming down anyway, so
Yeah.
let's put it down in a
Well, you
safe
could
place.
also have a bad regulator or something like that.
Yeah.
It just fails while you're in the air.
You know, those balloons are beautiful and they're fun to watch, but I would never get in a open basket.
No?
I also have a fear of heights.
Oh well.
But
all
I'm
right
never
then.
going to get in an open basket and
Hey,
then
Melissa.
just like go up.
Melissa, get in one, take a little ride.
No,
Your fear of heights will go bye-bye.
I don't think so.
They used
Seriously.
They used to offer this. At
Because you
Disney-
got
Face your
something to hold
fear,
on
face
to.
your fear.
It's easier than being in a plane.
I can
You
just
got something-
imagine like
just hold on to
just
the
my
straw
like
basket.
death grip on the basket.
All right. Would you do this? I don't know if they offer it anymore, but Disney World used to offer tethered
Yeah.
hot air balloon rides.
Remax does too.
What?
You go to
Yeah.
fairs and festivals around
They still
here.
do
If
it?
there's room and the weather conditions are good in the summertime, oh yeah, Remax get the Remax
So the
balloon.
the balloon is tethered.
Well, the basket is to like a 150-foot rope.
Yeah.
Okay.
right.
You go up, stop.
Okay.
And you hang around
Right.
a little while, and then they
And
either
then they
pull you
shut,
down
they shut
or
off the gas
shut-
and the flame, and you will
float back
naturally
down.
float back down.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you
I
only,
don't know.
you only go so
I don't
high,
know.
but
I don't
it is still
know.
like
And you don't
150 feet
travel
up.
with it. It's,
Yes.
It's like a ride at an amusement park.
Yeah, I don't like those either.
Ah, I see.
All right.
I don't like a 6-foot ladder.
Let's see if
Six-
you.
I have a low center of gravity, and I
6
like to
foot.
I like to
Jeez,
stay
wow.
low.
You live on the first floor?
I do now.
How do you
well,
feel about
okay.
step stools?
Maybe.
We had that joke last week. I told Dave I fell off off a 50-foot ladder. I'm okay. I was only on the first step.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, let's see if you agree with this. Out of North Adams, Massachusetts, all right, kind of nearby. If you have a mouth of a sailor, you could just be more intelligent than most. Studies have shown that swearing is a sign of higher intelligence and also helps manage pain.
That's exactly
Now,
the opposite of what we were taught.
The second part is what I agree with. The second part.
Yeah,
I was always taught that it was you were less intelligent using.
So
So
vocabulary was impaired.
yes, a Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts professor who has studied the subject for over 4 decades says the benefit of using vulgar language has been discovered using, quote, a lot of research on the brain and emotion, along with much better technology to study brain anatomy.
A lot of
Unquote.
research.
Yep.
Yeah, right. That really sounds intelligent.
A 2015 study showed that well-educated people were better at coming up with swear words than those who were less verbally fluent. And another study showed that those who curse are more honest and have higher levels of integrity.
Oh, come on.
I don't know who did this study. I don't know what's in the study.
Right. How many people were included in the
that's a pop.
study?
POP,
We want to know
Joe.
the numbers. We want to know
I
the
don't-
numbers.
I don't have it.
A lot of,
POP.
trust us, it was a lot of people.
I don't agree with this.
P-
Many, many,
at
many
all.
people.
Many. It's like a lot, yeah.
You know what POP means? Publish or perish.
No, okay.
No matter what kind of gibberish you can come up with, if you put it on a piece of paper, they'll get off your back for a while and
Yeah.
you go about doing what you like. Publish or perish. By the way, you know we got a phone call.
No.
I was out of the studio. I stepped out for a moment.
All right.
And we got a phone call, and the caller's listening to us talk about the Blue Jays, the goal getting hit.
Oh, yeah, get hit by the baseball.
and stuff like that. They said in a PGA tour. Now, I wasn't aware of this. In a PGA tour some time ago, a seagull, because they were near enough the ocean that there were seagulls
Pebble
around.
Beach is right on the beach.
Someone hit the ball. It's up in the air. A seagull grabs it,
Takes off with it.
takes off, and drops it in the water.
That's a stroke.
2 strokes.
2 strokes.
No,
Well,
no.
now if you got to go swimming in that pond to find where the doggone ball is, that's stroke. No, seriously. Can you imagine trying to play that ball where it lie?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
No.
Now,
Seagull's like, not this time.
Now the part about the managing.
No, that's how seagulls do, by the way. When they pick up clams,
Yeah.
they,
Yeah,
come-
they drop
they
them
pick up a clam,
on the rocks.
they drop
Yeah.
it on the rocks
Yeah.
to open it up.
Right.
Well, I guess they didn't find a handy rock at a golf course.
So the whole part about about being swearing and managing pain, I could see
Oh,
that.
you weren't done?
No, I wasn't done.
Oh,
because
gosh.
back when my wife was pregnant, we were taking the Lamaze classes. They had to try to simulate not labor pain, but pain in general. So what we had to do, and by the way, try this at home if you want to. Take an ice
Not when
cube.
the kiddies are around.
Take an ice cube, put it in your bare palm,
Yeah.
and make a fist around it, and
Yeah.
keep squeezing. It hurts.
Yeah.
And they say, but now try to breathe through it or swear through it, and you can get through it a lot faster.
Swear through
And
it.
they were right. It
Well-
helped us all as guys.
Papa could swear, I declare.
You know, when you stub your toe and that first thing out of your
Oh,
mouth,
yeah.
and you're just like, oh. And hopefully you're at home and not in public.
I can't believe I did this.
That's 'cause your dog looks at you rather scantly.
Yeah.
But I feel it does help.
Yep,
Just
it
Let
not
does.
out,
in that
let out a little
language,
with
are we?
pain.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I don't see it as a sign of intelligence, though.
Yeah, I heard about
never-
that study years ago. It's just I don't know if it's just that one study, but it got some play around on the
Back in the old days of vaudeville, when there were a lot of vaudeville houses around, and there was always those that were a little higher class than others. There was a sign backstage. I read about this. I wasn't there, and it was the most prestigious that took the best acts, and put them out there, and obviously had higher admissions. But backstage, they had a big sign over there saying, "If you do not possess the talent to entertain our audiences without vulgarity, you do not possess what it requires to go out on stage here."
Wow. I bet that sign has been taken down.
Probably the entire theater's been taken down, considering how many vaudeville houses are still around. Columbus Theater, Stadium.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you heard about this story, Melissa, or not, but we have our very first topless dancers that have unionized.
Wow.
This happened
okay.
out in California. They said we're not going to go on until we get unionized.
Now, this is
took
an old
them,
story.
It took them a year and a half
That's right.
to get this.
Well, no, they voted to unionize, but they couldn't come to a contract with the house.
So
And
the
it
bar,
dragged on.
Negotiations.
the Star Garden Topless Dive Bar, if you want to visit, it's in LA.
They chose that name carefully.
Yeah, they reopened for the first time. They've been closed for a year and a half. They reopened last week after a long shutdown caused by a labor dispute that ended with the women becoming the first unionized strippers in the U.S. They are now part of the Actors Equity Association labor union.
Good for them.
Good. I can't believe they stuck with it. I remember hearing the story. I said, well, this will die out in a month, and they'll just go back to work, and it's just going to be the way it always has been. But
How many people?
they don't say.
Okay.
And I guess
Well, it
it'd be-
Like, is it
fluctuates, Melissa.
50. Well, right, because you're not going to have fluctuation if you have unions, so folks will stay in the profession longer, and I'll just leave it.
Yeah, right.
I think you're good to about 32.
You know what?
As
And
I'm,
then you're
as I'm
about
thinking
done.
about
Work
it,
as long as you want to.
Well, yeah, there you go.
that kind of work always seemed to me to be like a day pay type of job where you picked up a shovel and dug a ditch or something, and if you were there tomorrow, fine, you worked again. If you weren't there tomorrow, okay, fine, you found something better. So I always figured that kind of dancing and entertainment would be that kind of a work. But when you unionize, it looks more like a career.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it. I have found myself in a position where I needed to work. I didn't have any work to go to. I grabbed a shovel, I dug a hole, and we filled it up with cement and a big pole and stuff like that.
Maybe when some of them get past the age where they're making enough money, they stay in the union and go to other clubs. And now
unionize there.
unionize. We just keep going from
yeah.
club to club and unionizing
That
the
we
dancers.
call
Right.
we call that an epidemic or a
Is that what
pandemic.
you call that?
No. Good for them, though. Good for them.
They are part of the union, and we asked, what are the dues, to be part of the union. We
Well,
don't-
right.
there's another
right.
thing,
And
though.
is it like 10 people or is it 50? Like
They don't.
we need
they
to
don't
know. Yeah,
say. It
When
just
I
says
was-
a group.
a group. Right.
When I was digging the
lot.
ditch,
Many people.
when I was digging a ditch for day pay, I didn't want to have to give a percentage of my wages to a union person.
Yes, but you have to before you have any choice in it.
But there's pros and cons, right?
As always, yeah. All right, that'll do it for the show for today. Thank you very much for listening in. Always appreciated. Dave Richards, thanks for sticking around.
And speaking of cons, we say hello to the folks down there at the ACI, and
I'm sure they'll
simmer
listen.
down, simmer down.
All right, Melissa Murray, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Happy Monday, everyone. Have a
All
great
right,
week.
Stay tuned. Leslie Page at the library, and Karen Zangari, not Paul. Karen Zangari will be
Karen.
here with Food First and Tiki Bars coming up tonight at 6 here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
There was a fight between a couple of inmates at the maximum security prison of the ACI on Friday night. The Department of Corrections says a lockdown was initiated after other inmates refused to leave the yard and go back